Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I have another video on Atlantic Fleet for all of you. And today, the thing that I'm going to talk about, the topic, the thing, I said thing, right? That I'm going to talk about is some tactics and some real and serious tactics that will bring you to victory in the Battle of Atlantic on the Allied side. Today I'm going to talk about the Allied side because you can't mix the Axis and the Allied side because it's quite complicated, because the playstyle is really different. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Well, in the Battle of the Atlantic, the most important thing is you have to place ships on the areas that has the most deepest blue areas, like these, the merchants you see right here that has deep blue. Those are the parts where you have to place warships on them. If you don't, they will all get sunk. If they got sunk, you lose ultimately on the Allied side. On the Allied side, you can't even afford to lose a merchant. That doesn't make sense, but you have to not let any merchant die. Of course, a merchant is more important than a destroyer or light cruiser, but maybe you might want to save a battleship, but in desperate conditions you may have to sacrifice your battleship. That's a no choice. You have to trade your battleship for a merchant, which is like quite useless in exchange for victory. That is how serious the situation is. Merchants are way more important than battleships and any other ships that you may use. And in the first half of the campaign, because the first main problem is that you don't have access to most of the ships, and you are provided with a Queen Elizabeth, a Renowned class, and some handful of VW class destroyers, which are not too bad actually. Well, and a handful of light cruisers and a handful of heavy cruisers. Then that's it. Those are the ships that they provide. If you choose the playing of using the preset ships, but many people might want to choose their own ships, but I highly recommend that you follow using the preset ships, because I play using the preset ships, and using the preset ship really makes me think of like, it does not how to say that, because it optimizes the ships that I use. And if you choose your own ships, you will buy a lot of battleships. That I am pretty sure about that. I think most of the people playing the Battle of Atlantic, they will literally spend their starting renown to all battleships, because battleships are not that useful. Because I did lose my Queen Elizabeth in the process by a Stuka bomber. Well, I did not really buy the Queen Elizabeth. I have like 3 battleships only in my entire campaign, and I won the campaign. As you can see right here, I finished the whole campaign. It is quite time consuming actually. Well, in order to win on the British side, you have to be alive until 0.5 February 1945 to win the campaign on the British side. Well, on the German side, on the other hand, you can end the campaign by 1940 if you manage to sink so many merchants, which I think is quite easy. Well, on the British side, on the other hand, you have to survive. And on the first half of the campaign is one of the hardest, because you can't lose more than 300,000 tons per month, which I totally won, because I lost 288,000 tons, which is not even the limit of the limit before America enters the war. After the Americans entered the war, the limit increased to 700,000, which made you playing the Allied side much more easier, while on the German side, on the other hand, made it so freaking hard. You can't even win like after 1941 when America entered the war. It is so damn hard to win on the German side. So on the German side, you have to win before America enters the war, and on the British side, you have to be really cautious and be very careful before America enters the war, because it's really easy to die. And you don't think like 300,000 is like a pinch of salt or something like that. Don't think of that. All of a sudden you will lose so many ships. Look at mine. Even though I did try to really protect my ships, but there are some ships that you can't protect, which I lost 4,600 merchants in the process. But only lost 60 warships, which is not too bad, I guess. The Germans lost 292 warships, which includes literally not all of their submarines, because Germany has way too much submarines, so you can't really sink all of them. I think I pretty much took out every single heavy cruiser, light cruiser, battleship, and the auxiliary cruisers. Well, for the destroyers and the submarines, I don't think so, because there are so many subs. Look how many ships I have sunk. This is ridiculous. I have sunk so many submarines in the campaign. It's so ridiculous. I can't remember how much I struggled before the escort carriers became available, which is quite hard to sink the subs before you have the escort carriers, because you have to use a destroyer and charge in. And sometimes I lose my destroyer because the sub fires at my bow, and my bow literally explodes, and my magazine exploded, and blah 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 blah. Bad things happen. You don't want that to happen, and you have to risk your destroyers before the escort carriers became available. And when the escort carriers became available, like the boat class, these are the best ships. The best ships you can get. After it became available, I literally have at least one ship in every sector, because I know it's multi-purpose. You can destroy submarines with ease, and you can destroy battleships if you manage to destroy them, because battleships are quite fragile to bombs, and you can have one of the destroyers or escorts to lay smoke, and then your carrier will take care of that battleship. It's just a piece of cake. Just telling you, buy escort carriers. Do not buy. If you insist on buying the fleet carriers, actually it's okay. But the fleet carriers are not as powerful as the American Avenger, because the American Avenger is the best bomber, because it releases a bunch of bombs. Not really a bunch. It just deals a lot of damage. Just one plane can like damage Bismarck so badly. You can't imagine that. And most importantly, I think because I kept my submarines, well, the submarines are pretty useless actually on the Allied side, and I have a lot of escort carriers, as you can see right here. And on the American and the British, I have battleships, which I brought them after they became available, because North Carolina, I just buy it. I don't even care, because why not? I just brought all of the North Carolina class battleships. I do not want to have any Lion, because it's quite expensive actually, and it's not as powerful. What did I just say? Because North Carolina is much more cheaper and almost as powerful as the ship. So whatever. Actually, I'm not going to talk about battleships, because battleships are not that useful on the Allied side. Most important is, I think the most useful ship overall is the escort carrier, the boat class. It's really a multi-purpose thing, and the battleships can only destroy other capital ships. And on the Axis side, you only have 6 battleships, and you only have 4 if you don't have that much money. So imagine that. Why would you buy so many battleships, and then there's so many submarines attacking the merchant lanes? You would have some carriers and that they would launch depth charges at them, and as the war goes on, more and more planes became available. On the American side, you have the Liberators, the American Liberators, and you have the Sunderlands at first. But on the opening stages of the war, it's only like in the sector in the United Kingdom, and as the war progresses, the more and more long-range aircraft became available, and even it stretches out here. The Liberators reached there, and that's a happy thing because submarine hunting became so much easier with all of those depth charges dropped from land-based aircraft. And if you really don't have it, then you have to destroy them with your destroyers. But with the introduction of the escort carriers, it became much more easier. Well, actually it's much more easier, and if you're playing on the Allied side, prepare for some serious submarine destroying skills, because I destroyed so many submarines I can't count anymore. Well, I think what the hell? I think the Allies is quite boring actually, because you have to destroy so many subs, and you have to spend so many time on the campaign. Well, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this video helped you out in your tactics in Battle of Atlantic and blah 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 blah. And I really do hope actually, because I finished the campaign 3 times, and I will tell you my experience of it. And yeah, I think I don't want to tell you. I just would like to help you to pass through the campaign and enjoy your life, because this game is the most awesome game. And anyways, be sure to like this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye guys.